John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, crushing on Maslany, and also Sydney Sweeney. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do randomly geeky films, and sometimes not so geeky films, and also sometimes geeky TV shows. Like we're talking about today. Hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening, please do sign for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. But first, real quick, I do want to say, everyone, if you have not yet, please check out my other podcasts, as Creepy and Kooky, a Wednesday Addams podcast, where I'm talking about the Wednesday TV show on Netflix and just Addams Family stuff in general. With my friend and Lilith the Librarian, and make sure to check that out. I have a feeling you'll have a fun time there as well. But today's episode of the Game Analysis is we're looking back on our love for the She-Hulk TV show, with my friend and Kevin the Time Geek from Twitter to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of the show.
Yep, good old Shulky.
Yeah, how are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good. I'm really jazzed up to do this because I honestly I haven't seen the She-Hulk show since it aired, so I got to rewatch it and it was just
nice.
It's just as good as I remember it, and it really.
Yeah.
Of course, I was kind of in a dark place in my life at the time when I was watching it, but I won't get into too much detail about it. But it definitely helped me keep my center a bit, kind of like how Jen has to find her center, being a Hulk and everything.
Nice.
So it kind of worked. So it kind of worked for me in that way.
Oh yeah, I think this show, like I loved it when it first came out, and I think it just gets better upon rewatch. And a big part of that is because I think that it works very well as a show that you binge.
Mm-hmm. I also think they really were trying to make it fun and still keep it and kind of do a nice kind of mishmash between the superhero show and the lawyer show, although they kind of lean more on the superhero side a bit more than the lawyer stuff, which, fair enough. Mm-hmm. Although, speaking of the lawyer stuff, I was absolutely just overjoyed to see Charlie Cox come back as Daredevil. That was because I liked the Netflix Daredevil show a lot. I mean, and Charlie Cox is an actor I'm a big fan of, so just getting to see him again, I was overjoyed. One of the best things about the show for me was seeing him come back.
The lawyer stuff is something that it's so interesting to me how like there's so many people who they get so mad about how the show portrayed lawyer stuff, and like I feel like you didn't read She-Hulk comics if you think this is this crazy thing. I think they just wanted it to be like Daredevil did with lawyer stuff.
They wanted it to be more dark and serious.
That's not what She-Hulk's court cases are.
Yeah, I mean, it's superhuman law stuff, Mm-hmm. I mean. Yeah, it's I mean, it's not quite heightened to the level of, say, the Ace Attorney games. It's not going to be that kind of wackiness, but it's still kind of wacky in its own unique way.
This is a character who in the comics has represented a ghost, Howard the Duck.
I remember that bit in the comics actually.
Had help from Santa on court cases.
I forgot about that bit.
Went up against Mephisto because he was trying to uh, threaten her with releasing her nudes. This is
Ooh, that's just
this is
mean, even for Mephisto.
oh, and this is a character who you should just expect that the court case is gonna be wacky.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, not quite Ace Attorney wacky, but still wacky.
Yeah. Like, it's just hilarious to me people complaining about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just feel like you don't really understand this character
I
if you're
I
complaining
mean, I
about
think
that.
that, and I also think there's a little bit of an authenticity to the whole legal thing in the show anyway, because of the fact that they actually brought in one of the comic book writers who actually wrote for She-Hulk in the comics, who also who actually worked in a legal office at one point
Mhm.
too. So he was able
Well,
to kind of, in fact, from what I heard, that writer actually, when he was on his run on She-Hulk, he used his experience as a lawyer to kind of make a lot of
uh,
wonderful like gags that a
like
lot of people wouldn't know about unless they actually worked in law. So it kind
you
of worked on a
the thing
metatextual
is,
level on that way.
I've heard people try to use the excuse like, oh, the writers admitted afterwards they didn't know how to write legal scenes. I'm like, they clearly were joking when they said that.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
like
it's a comment. There's a lot. They were being snarky, dude.
yeah,
I
just
mean,
like
I'm
when
autistic and I sometimes struggle with sarcasm. What excuse do you have, dude?
just like people also try to use the excuse for believing that the dumbass rumors that said She-Hulk was originally going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds took her
No,
out because she
no,
was trying to push her
no,
feminist agenda. Uh, they
no.
they tried they tried to use as an excuse to believe that the fact that Tatiana Slane went on a podcast and joked about it being acted as if it were true as a
Good on her
joke.
for having a sense of humor about it. And
Like,
mocking the shit out of these assholes, by the way.
but they can't understand humor, so they thought that she was being serious.
I mean, she's. I think they were just honestly. I think they knew that she was being silly, and they were trying to intentionally take it out of context just to be mad about something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people do that, and
Oh yeah.
I'm
And they
just tired of it.
yeah, and it's so obvious that it's, the only reason that that it is like that is because it's a grift. They're
Yep.
trying to
Yep.
grift their audiences. Is
I mean, and the show it doesn't. I mean, the show itself mocks the shit out of these people,
yes,
and and I mean, do these people realize they're the butt of the joke here? And if
like
they
it's
do,
crazy.
then they need to learn to laugh at themselves,
Yeah,
or realize, oh shit, that's what I look like. I need to be a I need some help here. God,
I think what
it's
makes it
pathetic.
so obvious that it's all just because of the grift is like
Mm,
there are films from 30, 40 years ago that are just as quote unquote woke and feminist as this, and they don't have a problem with those, and it's pretty obvious the reason people don't have a
But,
problem with those is
in their minds, it's like they think that those things that were done back then weren't preaching about it like they are now.
well, I think what
No,
it
they
is
were
is that
no, they had to keep it in the background back then because executives would have had a fit
well,
about it. It would have been the ones having a fit about it, number one, and number two. Now that society's progressed a little bit more, sort of, considering, that they can be a little more overt about it. So it's not preaching about it; it's just they're being more
mhm.
overt about it, and that's not the same fucking thing.
Yeah, I think though that to me, I think what it is that I do think that they were pretty overt even back then sometimes. But
Yeah,
the thing is back then and YouTube did not exist, so these
yeah,
grifters did not
yeah,
exist. Is and so the actual just like random people who have gotten themselves caught up in these grifts ifs um they didn't have the grifters telling them this is how you should feel, and
yeah.
without and I think that they are just too dumb to be able to understand the
I mean,
subtext of these things
there were
without someone
also
telling them
grifters
to.
before YouTube, but they were the
Yeah.
like Christian fundamentalists and televangelists who are like, who think like this is sinful behavior or whatever when it goes against the
Mhm.
heteronormative status quo or whatever, and
It's just
except we
become
didn't
a
take them
lot
seriously
easier.
back then because we knew they were full of shit.
Yeah, I think it's just become a lot easier though for these days
Yeah,
because of YouTube for these grifters to become a thing,
yeah.
and
Unfortunately,
it's
yeah.
and I think that just without them, and people are too dumb to actually understand what
Or think for
these
themselves.
shows are saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
look at the original Alien movie. That
yeah.
is so feminist. Is
I mean, I mean, from what I heard about the original Alien movie, all the characters in that movie were, when they were written, didn't have a specific gender in mind, so that allowed them to cast whoever they wanted. I mean, or at least from what I understand, at least Ellen Ripley was originally written to be a man or something, and then when Sigourney Weaver came in, they're like, okay, and so she's perfect for the role, even though we originally wrote it to be a guy. I
Mhm.
don't. And this is all stuff I heard. I don't know what's true and what's not, but still, Alien's a classic, great movie.
Oh yeah. So I watched that Alien for the first time a few months ago. And
Yep.
it was just it was so funny to me watching it. Like they because like there are some of these people who they will cite Alien as one of the as something that they would not have a problem with it. I'm like, you just must be just way too dumb to understand what they were saying in the film because it's so obvious
Hmm.
how feminist and progressive that film is trying to be. Then like another example is like there's a line in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, one of these people's favorite films, where oh Sauron says
It's one of the ring
Sauron,
wraiths,
yeah,
yeah,
Ring
and
says
being facing
as
down Eowyn. Yeah, I actually
it's like
I've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings movies with my nephew recently because my his dad and well and his dad too because his dad read him the books and that moment just we got to that moment in the movie and my nephew was like punching the air at that moment because he remembers that part from the book too.
it's
You know,
like
which
and
takes him
you're
down.
like no
Great moment.
man can defeat me. I am not a man.
I am no man, but yeah.
Yeah, like
Which is
they
straight
didn't
out
have
of the
a
book,
problem.
right
They didn't
there.
ha- and these kind of people never had a problem with that all those years ago. But
Yeah, I know.
if that
And yet
if Lord of the
they
Rings,
complain about that whole "she's got help" thing from Endgame, which I
yeah,
will admit it is kind of cringy, but it's less cringe than most other cases where they try to cases in some genre projects where they're like, oh, all these girls together fighting and being look how badass they are, but it's I still thought it was a good moment regardless.
oh
So
yeah,
despite the cringe. Oh.
uh, this show, I feel like this show for or the bigoted women haters was kind of the final straw for them, and they just went
Honestly,
wild.
I'm glad they went for it in the
Oh
show
yeah,
because these people need to be called out on their shit, even if it's
absolutely,
by a show that even if it's a piece of media, I mean,
absolutely. I
I
mean,
think they should have done it more, frankly. Maybe like and show
mhm.
just how dangerous these people can actually be if they are
Yeah.
allowed to get away with the shit they're getting away with
I
in
mean
the
that
real world. But
I mean, I would say that they did a pretty good job showing how dangerous these people can be. Like
yeah, yeah,
they hacked into her phone to own.
yeah,
They made a sex tape of her.
yeah, yeah.
They stole her blood. That's a pretty insane stuff to do.
Yep, yep. Very
Uh,
insane stuff.
but yeah,
All
I
because
love.
they don't think Jen earned her powers or whatever, which,
Uh-huh.
it's the same thing with which is the same argument for a lot of these people in the real world who complain about like, female characters being present, like say that like when Jodie Whittaker first played the 13th Doctor, they're like, she didn't earn the right to be the Doctor. I'm like, shut up. She was cast. She is, as Colin Baker said, she is the Doctor whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Shut up. You
It,
know, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
it's just wild.
It's
I
pathetic.
remember with so I remember that in with the Star Wars sequel films how they complained that they thought Ray was too perfect. Act.
Oh, and Luke
Well,
wasn't too perfect?
and,
Right back in the original
but then
trilogy? Come on now.
with this we get Jen being a flawed character from the
Yep.
very first episode. She
Hmm.
is they particularly showed that she he was wrong on with a lot of things that she
Hmm.
said in that very first episode.
Yep.
Oh, so it's if you hate a female character if they're too perfect, and you also hate them if they're too flawed, it's pretty obvious you just hate women,
Yeah, no, it's
or particularly
or they're
women.
just looking for an excuse to hate on a female character because just because they
See,
just can't
the
fathom
only way
deal
that
with
they
it.
will be that in this time they will be happy with a female character is if that female character is subservient to a man.
Yeah, yeah, or yep, I know. I do wish they could have done a little more crossover stuff with this series though. Like, I mean, I know some people like complain about like how like too many, well, Marvel's too many crossover. Well, I think there's not enough crossover really because it feels like they're all cordoned off into their own little respective areas. Let's allow a little more leeway. I
I
mean,
would
heck,
uh,
Matt Murdock came back to the MCU via a bit in Spider-Man No Way Home and now in this series, and Wong's back in the episode of this series, and Wong's one of my favorite characters. I think he's great.
uh,
I mean,
and
maybe,
I think
just
of any show
I don't know. If there's an
this is
opportunity
the
for
show.
crossover, allow it so that we can
Yeah.
see that this world is actually a breathing world with characters who can interact.
Mhm. Like
You know?
those crossovers are one of the things that I do love so much about this show.
Mhm.
Not only because I want the Marvels to feel like a world lived in, and not just
Yep.
it's not Marvel should not just be big events, and so that's
I
what a lot
agree.
of people do not understand.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
and then also I like it just because that's what her comics are.
yeah,
Are her comics are
yeah,
her what's the word are being the lawyer for other Marvel characters.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I get why this whole Spider-Man stuff is cordoned off because Sony's all like, you can't use Spider-Man unless you pay us. And I'm like,
Spider-Man is such
even though, well,
amazing.
any elements relating to Spider-Man and such, and I'm still thinking, why not just pay it, Disney? You got the money, You-
Spider-Man is a really
even if it
funny
ups the
thing for
budget a
this
bit, and maybe include some
for
Spider-Man characters in there,
this show particularly. I think is a very funny thing
Yeah.
because like Spider-Man and while he has appeared alongside She-Hulk in some comics, they're not really like known for people who commonly team up with each other. But the writers of the show, they did really want to get Spider-Man in it,
That's what
and
I heard. Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
and uh, even though they legally were not allowed to actually, they did manage to sneak Spider-Man in somewhat, because and it's all because of Jen's phone. When we see her phone up on the screen with with her having that wallpaper of Captain America, it's a shot from Captain America Civil War that Spider-Man is in the background of.
Yeah, yeah.
They snuck him in
Sneaky.
and behind
Although
the
non-Rose Spider-Man
his
related,
back.
my favorite little Easter egg though is like if you look at the like some of the news articles that pop up on Jen's laptop, one of them is an article about a guy with knives coming out of his hands,
Hmm.
and I'm like, Wolverine,
Yep.
which is
They had.
hilarious because Wolverine started as an Incredible Hulk villain before he became an X-Man. So
Oh
so
yeah.
it was just like, and of course they
Although
kind of also referenced that bit in Deadpool and Wolverine as well, with
they also
Hugh Jackman and
and
everything, and I love that,
I think this
including
film,
the
this
whole thing of
show,
Hulk reflected in the claws.
this show did a lot of like teasing for future stuff and
Yeah,
of that I don't think everybody caught. Like they teased the return of Iron of Tiamat because in that same
yep,
laptop they had hit
a
a
news
reference of
article about
him
Tiamat. Yeah,
and and like when this show came out we were either we either had not heard yet or we were just hearing about Wolverine returning in Deadpool and Wolverine, and
yep,
then they reference him twice in the show, both with the laptop and within the eighth episode before getting ready for the gala. Nikki puts on uses makeup things as if they're Wolverine in claws, which was cool.
yeah. That's a nice little gag too. I thought that was funny.
They also in that same scene they teased the fact that we would be getting Red Hulk soon. But and
Yeah,
they said, "Oh, what's the twist gonna be? Is there gonna be a Hulk, but he's red?"
yeah. Of course,
Uh,
and then Harrison Ford came in and turned into Red Hulk for us in the new Captain America movie. I actually
uh,
thought because of the whole blood subplot thing that would factor into the whole Red Hulk thing going on that
oh
happened
yeah,
ended up happening with the leader in
it,
Brave
it
New World, but
it's
oh well.
weird that he didn't. And like I actually like don't so much think that they needed to be connected specifically to She-Hulk, but what I thought would have been what they would have done is um so we're just told that that he took these I think iodine pills that had gamma radiation in them from the
Yeah.
leader, but the leader literally had sympathized eyes Hulk's blood in the Incredible Hulk. He
Yep.
had like hundreds upon hundreds of vials of, for lack of a better word, fake
He
Hulk
probably
blood.
used some of those resources to kind of just that Ross gave him and Brave New World to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to rewatch Brave New World. I liked it when it came out. I liked it, but I need to rewatch it just to
I
get
think
some of
that
those finer details better.
Brave New World is a really weird film to me.
Hmm.
In that it so for one, I don't like obviously they insisted on including Sabra,
Yeah, yeah, that's a little elephant in the room.
but
Yeah.
outside of that, it's still kind of a weird film to me because like it almost feels like it being a part of the MCU is an afterthought. Instead of being part of the forefront of it, it feels more like they wanted to continue on from the Incredible Hulk, then continuing on from where they are currently in the MCU.
I think they also wanted to try to continue some stuff from that Falcon and Winter Soldier series as well. So
Somewhat, but like most stuff out of that show really didn't continue on. Like you would
hmm.
have thought that that stuff like the Power Broker would have been a part of it.
I know. I would have thought they would have continued that
Like
because I wanted to know where that was going to go, but you know, I guess we'll find out in the future. We'll see. I don't know.
like
Hope springs eternal.
like with Ross in Brave New World, he feels he does feel like he's the same character as we saw in the Incredible Hulk, but he doesn't really feel like he's the same character we were seeing throughout from Civil War through Black Widow.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it to me almost feels like they were kind of ignoring the rest of the MCU and just sprinkled in little references here and there to make us remember, oh yeah, this is a part of this world. but they
But
really just
I
wanted to
mean,
do
from what I
it as
understand it
a
in Brave New
sequel to
World,
that.
from what I understand in Brave New World, he had come to after like he apparently it's implied that Ross actually was one of the victims of Thanos' snap, and after being brought back, he realized that how detrimental the Accords were, and that
Oh,
the snap could have been prevented if they hadn't torn the Avengers
yeah.
apart with the Accords in the first
Mhm,
place. So maybe it's like he decided to go about decided to try to operate in a way that wouldn't
mhm.
detrimental to the Avengers in any way, but or anything, but
Oh.
while also at the same time still being a kind of the dickwad he was in Incredible Hulk.
So going back at She-Hulk though,
Yeah, sorry,
I
I
it's
got
all
off on a
right.
tangent about that. Sorry.
It's all right. So what do you think of the She-Hulk finale? Like it is so diverse.
I thought it
How
was the
people
right kind of
feel.
wacky. I mean, it's pretty much like a nice kind of adaptation of what happened in the comics, where basically She-Hulk
Oh yeah,
busts out of the comic to meet the
yeah.
comic readers and be like, "Who writes this crap?" You
I
know?
love I
And it's,
so
I mean, even did it to the point where she's busting out of the Disney Plus menu, which I thought
oh
was great.
yeah, it's
Although I
so
wonder
good.
how that's going to play when if they decide to release this on home media. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I'm still going to
I
get it
think it'll
anyway
be
because I love physical media. But
I really hope that they do a home video release of She-Hulk
me
because
too,
mainly for
and also
me,
Miss Marvel as well. I love that series as
oh
well.
yeah, mainly for me, I wanted to want it because I want the deleted scenes from the show
I want the
because
gag reel, but that
yeah,
is
that too. But like, I want to see these deleted scenes because like, there's stuff I know that they filmed that we didn't see in the show.
yeah,
We saw in the finale we saw this a short little scene of Jen in college dancing, but there was more of her in college that they filmed. We saw
yeah,
set photos for where she was in college outdoors, or it's very clearly not that. That we didn't see, then also, and this is the big one that I really want to see. It was they showed a behind the scenes thing of it in like a featurette of Nikki being at Hulk's bar. I want to see what was going on there. I want to see
yeah.
Nikki
I'm
get to
interested in
meet
that as well.
Hulk.
Yeah.
I think that would be so much fun seeing Nikki and Hawk interact.
Yeah, yeah, Mark Ruffalo and Nikki's actress. I can't remember her name, but
Ginger
yeah.
Gonzaga.
Thank you. I also I just loved Mark Ruffalo in this series. He was so good.
Oh
He was.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
he's always had really good comic timing in the
mhm.
MCU, but it's here he was. It was like he was given free reign to just have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
I mean that line that he has in one episode where he's like, "I was a different man back then," literally. Apparently, that
Yeah.
was just something he threw in, and the writer was like, they actually had to. I don't know if that was like
It's like
they decided to keep it right there, or they contacted Kevin Feige
mhm.
like, "Do you think we were allowed to use this, or is it a
I
little
think
too meta?"
it's a
Or
really good
I,
line
it's great.
because
It's so
it
off the
has
cuff.
two different meanings. And he's
Yeah,
both
that
the
exactly.
actor, and also because he is Smart Hulk now, which is
Yeah.
kind of a different person
Yeah.
than Hulk's
Yeah,
personality.
speaking of different actor, I actually did hear at one point the writers, the creative team actually wanted considered at one point as a one-off gag to have bring back Edward Norton as a
Yeah,
one-off little gag to really
I feel
solidify
like if
that
they
gag,
did,
that different man gag. But apparently,
I
from what I
think
understand, it Norton is persona non grata at Marvel at
I
because of
think that
the whole thing with with the Incredible Hulk
uh,
and him rewriting the script while they were shooting it. So
mhm.
because they didn't really like him doing that too much.
The thing is, I think that they could have actually did
So
that.
that gag was kind of nixed, unfortunately, which
I think
kind of
they could have
sucks.
done that without having Edward Norton come back because they can just use that Hulk model. Edward Norton, I don't think did the voice of that Hulk model.
No, no, that was Lou Ferrigno voicing the
No,
Hulk in there.
no, for that one it was Fred Taskforce who did who
Fred
usually
Tatasciore? Okay, I thought that
Taskforce
was Lou
or
Ferrigno.
does so Fred Taskett does the voice of Hulk in a lot of the animated things,
Yep,
and he
I
did
know.
it in
He's good. He's one of my favorite versions of the Hulk.
and he was the one who did it in the 2008 film. Lou
Yeah.
Ferrigno did it in the Avengers film.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. A blend of
Yeah,
Ruffalo
and it was
and it was actually a blend of Ruffalo
yeah.
and
I
Ferrigno.
think that
Yeah.
they could have done that for the finale, but at the same time, I like what they did because I think it's cool that we got to see a Mark Ruffalo's version of the Hulk fight an Abomination, even if it's not really canon.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah. One of
It
my
is.
favorite little details when Jen is sent back from that little AI thing, like stuff, and Daredevil just falls out of the sky. If you look at Charlie Cox at that moment after he falls out of the sky, he looks around briefly like, "How did I get here?"
Yeah,
It's a great little moment
like
of just a little
I
bit of
think.
visual acting on Charlie Cox's part. I don't know if that was intended on his part, but it's
Mm,
still just a great little slight
I,
little bit of
uh,
comedic acting, physical acting there. I
I
like
think
that.
the
How did I get
finale
here?
is such an interesting thing to me. Like when I first watched I actually didn't like it. But like as I've watched it more and more, each time I watch it, I've grown to love the finale even more.
Yeah,
And it's and I think I think this finale is ages so
yeah,
well because it's because they called out these things. They are very prominent. Like the very next show after She-Hulk did the exact thing that the She-Hulk finale was making fun of, which is which was a secret invasion that just threw everything
yeah.
at the wall for its finale. A I think, and also I think it also works on a level of making fun of AI. I with
A
how
little bit,
AI
yeah.
has become very prevalent in the years since She-Hulk came out.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah, and I think that it works just really well. Like you know, I think it's funny people acting like this is like
yeah.
actually bad when it's like no, this was a fake bad ending. And people are like, well, if it's a fake bad ending, then it is actually bad. And I'm like, it's not like She-Hulk is the first time that a sign like this has ever been done, and people have liked it on other things. And it just feels like more of we are going to be more critical of this because it's a woman-led show.
Yeah.
Like Wayne's World did a sign like this for its
Yeah,
ending,
exactly. Yeah.
and everybody loved it. Like yeah, like
I know.
and I think it's a sign that's really cool about how the She-Hulk ending is one of the legendary comedy actors and writers, Simon Pegg, made a video praising this show's finale.
Well, yeah. Well,
I
hey,
think that's
Simon
really
Pegg.
cool.
When Simon Pegg's praising you, you know you're doing something
Like
right, in my
he
opinion.
said that this is
He
one
is
of the best
immaculate.
thing Marvel has ever done. And I'm like, yes, yes, you're.
Yep.
I and,
Although I still think, although I feel like the strongest part of the show for me though is the whole interacting between Jen and Matt, really, because it just I feel like they really complement each other well. And a couple of my friends who do a podcast, they put out a show on She-Hulk recently, and they mentioned this. And you know what? I kind of agree with them to some extent, where I feel like they could also benefit from one another a little bit, in that maybe like some of maybe like maybe to have like the Daredevil take some of She-Hulk's lightheartedness to kind of lighten up his show a bit, so it's not too oppressively dark, you know. And then She-Hulk can take some of Daredevil's darkness and make it a little less wacky, but still have it be fun, but a little less wacky, and just have it be like a nice balance,
I I think that
because
like
they
I
felt like they felt like those two properties for Marvel kind of went too far in either of those two directions. They felt
I
She-Hulk kind of went a little too
uh,
wacky in places, and they felt Daredevil went a little too dark in places.
I
So,
think that
and I can see where they're coming from.
I agree with Daredevil being a little too dark and serious.
Hmm.
It's like the Daredevil in the comics is not nearly as dark and serious as his
Mhm.
shows are like,
Well, I
but
think they're
with
taking cues
She-Hulk,
from the Frank Miller one, which was very dark. But
but with
yeah,
She-Hulk, I disagree that it's too wacky. I think it feels exactly like She-Hulk's comics. And
Mm.
heck, if anything, it's not as wacky as some of She-Hulk's comics. The first time She-Hulk met Howard the Duck in the comics, they went to a universe called the Baloneyverse, where things were made out of food.
Eh, sounds delicious.
Like, they went to some very wacky areas in the She-Hulk comics.
I can, yeah,
Um,
I haven't
and
read them in a while, but I might want to buzz through a few sometime in the future just to kind of
uh,
get my fix, I guess.
I think, for me, the best part of the show is also an interaction that Jed has, but not with Matt Murdock. For me, it's the perfect cousin dynamic with Hulk.
That's
They
also
are
one of my
so
favorite
good.
bits. In fact, I totally just seeing Tatiana and Mark act opposite each other. I totally, it's just like from the moment I saw them on screen together, I'm like, okay, I can totally buy these two as cousins. I
Oh
can
yeah,
totally
they're
buy it.
so good together.
Oh, they
And
just have that. I could totally buy that familial chemistry.
I want if we ever get Ashley Hawk season two, which sadly it doesn't feel like we probably are at this
Yeah,
point, but
because of the budget kind
like
of ballooning a bit.
I want to have an episode where Jen and Bruce team up actually against bad guys and not just to do training.
Yeah,
I think it would be so much fun seeing their dynamic and
yeah.
their rivalry as they fight bad guys.
Like there are different methods of how to do things. Yeah,
Like you
I think.
you talked about earlier how you're watching Lord of the Rings lately. You think of Legolas and Gimli's dynamic.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
think it
something
would
like
be
that. Exactly.
like that, and
Yeah.
I think that'd be so much fun to watch. It's like,
I
oh yeah,
actually another. I just thought one of my other favorite things about the incredible the She-Hulk show though is that the opening of the very last episode is very much an homage to the old Lou Ferrigno Bill
yes,
Bixby show, which it was my
oh yeah.
formative version of the Hulk when I was growing up. I watched reruns of that when I was a kid.
Hmm.
And I actually got to meet Lou Ferrigno at a Comic Con when
Nice.
I was younger, and he was so sweet. I was a little intimidated though because he's still in crazy shape for being like 60 something now,
Oh
or at
yeah,
least at the
it's
time he was 60
crazy.
something. I don't know how old he is now, but he's still built
I'm
like a
pretty sure
freaking brick wall.
he's now either in his 60s or 70s. He's kind
Yeah, I don't know,
yeah, it's
but he was still a very soft spoken, very sweet guy.
oh yeah.
He looked very he seemed very touched when I told him that he was my childhood version of the Hulk. So yeah,
It's
I have my picture taken with him too, which was really nice.
I wish they could have gotten a Lou Ferrigno cameo in this. It's just
I mean,
like
he did cameo in the
oh yeah,
2008 Hulk movie,
yeah.
but
Like
you know,
the reason I want it is partially because of the fact that he had cameoed both in 2003 Hulk and 2008 Hulk, and I
would have
wanted
been
them to
nice, yeah,
continue the tradition of him cameoing in
and
Hulk
Hulk
stuff.
related
But
stuff. Yeah,
I sadly I think that would have been an impossibility right now because it doesn't seem like him and Marvel are quite on speaking terms because um he complained a few years ago that he doesn't like Marvel using CGI for Hulk.
I mean, I can understand that, but at the same time, I don't know how you could. I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know how you could do prosthetics for the Hulk, like making an actual physical Hulk with that's like
Mhm.
animatronic face or without it seeming like it's uncanny valley because
Yeah.
I think CGI really works well with
Oh
conveying the
yeah,
Hulk. I mean,
absolutely.
without
Yeah,
it,
like
because of the fact that it can look it's allowed to be a little off because it's the Hulk, and he's meant to look a little off,
mhm.
you know. So I don't know.
Speaking
I
of
mean, they
the
managed to convey Ben Grimm the Thing via prosthetics in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, and apparently, from my understanding, it's a mix of prosthetics and CG for the Thing in the new one. I
Mhm.
don't know yet. I haven't seen the new Fantastic Four yet. I want to though.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to see it so bad.
Uh,
Looks so
oh,
good.
speaking of the CGI though, like so many people complain about the CGI for She-Hulk, and
I
I
thought she
really
looked
don't.
great.
Yeah, she looks fantastic to me, and you know, actual VFX artists have done a reaction to her CGI, and they're like, and they also were like, I don't understand where people are coming from. They said that she looks perfect.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
mean, granted, they were kind of working under a crunch at the time, apparently, from what I
well,
heard, but which
but the
really
people
sucks.
I'm talking about are not who worked on the show. These
Yeah.
are YouTubers who are VFX artists.
Yeah.
It's a channel called Corridor Crew.
Mhm.
They do a lot of reactions to different movies and shows as VFX, and they did one on the She-Hulk trailer, and they were like, "Yeah, this looks like what you would expect." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. My
its
yeah.
smooth features are because she's a woman and most women wear makeup.
Yeah. Although one of my friends did feel like that they should have had her keep the curls in her hair for She-Hulk a bit more, make her a little more unkempt. Give her a little more of an unkempt beauty look. And I kind of agree. I mean, I
Oh, for
like
sure.
that kind of voluminous hair she's got, but the curls, man, the curls would have just really made her look awesome, better. But I guess they probably would have been very painstaking to animate for the
Probably.
CG artists,
uh,
so
I
they probably had to kind of keep it simple.
uh, um oh
One detail I noticed like early on in the show though that I really liked though in terms of She-Hulk's appearance though is if you look at like I mean when she's in Gen form, it's her hair is just really dark brown and stuff, but if you look carefully at her hair when she's in She-Hulk form, it's got a bit of a green tinge to it like in the
oh yeah.
comics. It's a little darker green tinge, but it's unmistakably got a little bit of a subtle green
Hmm.
tinge, and I
Oh
like
yeah.
that. I love. I mean, it reverts back after she goes
Hmm.
back to Jen, but still, it's a nice touch. I really like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wish they
And
could have done that with Banner a bit too, because apparently his hair does that too sometimes in the comics.
oh
But
yeah.
I guess with Ruffalo's hair being a little more salt and peppery nowadays, they can't really do it as well. But
uh,
ah well.
um another thing that I that really just takes this show over the edge for how much I love it, it is the supporting cast.
Yeah,
As Nikki and Pug,
I loved Pug.
and
He was great.
Mallory, they're just so much fun to watch, and Jen's dad too. Like he's
Jen's
so
dad
good.
reminded me of one of my relatives. I think it was my Uncle John. He reminded me of my Uncle John in the best way.
Uh,
Very affable, very sweet, very kind of supportive.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love Jen's dad. We have like he's so wholesome, and he's also really it's really funny.
Yeah.
So his scenes as well. He,
Jen,
uh, he he
Jen's mom is the
offers to
ultimate embarrassing mother, in my opinion,
yeah.
really. Especially with the whole thing of like basically trying to basically unsubtly tell Matt Murdock, we want grandkids. I'm like, really,
I
really?
love I love what Jen's dad when like he asked Jen if she wants on his help with burying a dead body, basically, and then like later on in the show, when there are reporters outside their house, he threatens to spray him with his hose, even though they're in a drought. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Uh,
kind of funny.
but going back to Jen and Nikki though, they are not Nikki and Pug. I mean, and they're just so good. I love their personalities.
Mhm.
Is
I
all
mean, Nikki comes off a bit shallow sometimes, but
uh,
she means well, I feel.
yeah. Yeah, you know, I love what with Pug. All of his moments where he's where because he has this shyness to him, or like, or he doesn't have a lot of self-esteem, and so
Yeah,
he feels the need to be feels the need to say, you guys know me, I wouldn't like sexually harass ask you like the Asgardian elf girl will try to make them think, or like
yeah,
how
yeah.
he feels so
One of my favorite.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
about the out portraying one of these
women. Yeah,
douchebag dudes.
yeah. It just his discomfort is so palpable when he's trying
Oh yeah,
when Nikki basically nudges him to infiltrate that incel organization. I can't remember the name of it, but offhand, but
intelligentsia.
that's it. Yeah, which is, I mean, which is it's a little bit different from from what I've heard it is in the comics. But
Mm.
honestly, if you're going to adapt something like that for the like to make it relevant for the modern day, basically being a haven for incels, I guess it's a little on the nose, but it works.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. I just love them, and like I think, and creating good supporting cast is one of the best things that Marvel does with their Oz is
Yeah,
like you have Nikki and Pug, you have
yeah.
Nakia and I can't remember the guy's name, but the supporting cast from Miss Marvel, all like
Oh yeah,
there you have there's the supporting cast from the Thor movies, like
yeah.
they do such a
The
good job
Ant-Man,
at making.
the gang
Oh
from
yeah,
Ant-Man that
man,
Paul Rudd's Scott Lang,
like
hangs out
that's
with.
something
And
that I think that they do just so well.
yeah,
they create such perfect dynamics between the heroes and
it helps the characters
supporting
feel more
cast.
human, in my opinion. The heroes feel more human, in my opinion, if they have
Yeah.
friends, like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's it really, the supporting cast is one of the biggest reasons why I want a season two.
Yeah, I want to
I
see more of these characters
hate
as well.
that, I've seen people say like, oh, they'd be fine with her just taking on a role sort of like what like Hulk has done, where he just appears in everybody else's stuff. I'm like, no, no, I'm not
I mean,
okay with that, because I want more of Nikki and Pug as well, and you're not gonna get to see them again if Jen only ever appears in other people's stuff.
exactly. Well, I actually also kind of liked Jen's boss at the superhuman law firm too. He was kind of
Oh
cool. I can't remember the guy's name, but but
yeah,
he was very funny and just very sweet and
I
just he's the
oh,
kind of boss you kind of want.
I
Very
don't know,
sweet and
like he's
affable and understanding to some extent.
I think his character, or Holloway, I think
Holloway, that's it. Thank
he he comes off as a jerk sometimes, but I think that's kind of just he's a boss. Also,
you.
they can
But he
be
still
jerks,
means
and like
well when he's a boss too, which is more to be
he
said for other bosses might be
and
just like the pointy-haired boss in Dilbert, for instance.
when I first watched the show, I was thinking he might end up being like one of the intelligentsia people, but I was really happy when he didn't end up being one of them.
I'm glad he wasn't one. It would have been
And then
ridiculous if it turned out he was one of them because
then like with another character who I was really glad that it was pretty clear he didn't understand what was going on is Abomination. I don't think Abomination was a part of an
I thought it was
intelligentsia. He
I
just
thought it was a pretty smart move that Blonsky wasn't aware of that because and it's
yeah,
actually and it makes sense that he wouldn't be aware that
yeah, he
intelligentsia
just
is a hate group because
doesn't do his
when the intelligentsia hacked that whole thing in the gala and caused She-Hulk to kind of go nuts and everything, that was their first big public thing when they were previously just like a kind of shadow group online, just
well
you know
and the thing is
and also
he doesn't go online, so
when
he
Jen
doesn't
goes
know.
to that resort thing that Blonsky has established, he says that there's no Wi-Fi there.
Yeah,
So it
I
already shows that Yeah, he had no idea because there
Which
was no Wi-Fi. He didn't
I
have any
will
idea about
say,
the public thing because there was no Wi-Fi.
if you're gonna be doing in speaking engagements, you probably should like do your due diligence and run some background checks on who you're
Yeah, vet the people who are
who
wanting you to speak
hiring
for
you.
them, you
But
know?
yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
glad you did
vet
though.
them.
Uh,
I do like that Tim Roth did come back though.
oh yeah,
He's one of my
he's
favorite
great.
actors, and just to see him come back and play Abomination in a little bit of
I
a
would
more
say,
lighthearted capacity was kind of
and
nice.
I actually would say that that he is better in this than he was in the Incredible Hulk. I think
I
in the
wouldn't.
Incredible
I'm not sure.
Hulk,
I would say he was better, but I do
when
think I do like I like that he was a little more affable and not as much of a hard ass.
what I mean by that, is I feel like he's a more three-dimensional character in this
Oh,
versus
okay, yeah,
in the Incredible
yeah, that
Hulk.
makes sense.
He's very much a one-note character,
Yeah, he was a bit one note in that, and I understand that to
and
some
that's
extent because
not
they were,
his
you
fault.
know,
That's the writing of the film's
that
fault.
that was just how he was written. Yeah, and I
But
did hear that Tim
yeah,
Roth did struggle a bit with playing the character in a more lighthearted comedic way in the show, but once he saw like how like I think Tatiana and Mark Ruffalo were kind of sparking off one another, he was like, "Oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. Got it."
yeah,
You know,
it
and
was
that's when he was able to kind of dive in. In fact, he and Mark Ruffalo had a lot of great fun on set, kind of and on set together. Even though his previously he had
very
only worked with Edward Norton's Hulk,
yeah. I'm
so
very curious is um where, if at all, we'll ever see him again. And will he be in like Doctor Strange 3 or something?
I
Or
don't know.
since
He didn't show up in the
since
second one.
well, okay. So the reason I say that though the second one came out before She-Hulk, I think, but
Yeah, true.
but like is because of the post credit scene, Wong comes and gets him from on the cell. I'm like, is he just staying at Comertage now, or like and or
I don't
like
know.
could he appear?
I hope they pay all that off somehow because
Hopefully,
and also I hope he actually kind of that he really has turned over a new leaf to some extent and will actually be a more heroic character, even though
yeah.
Abomination in the comics is more of a out and out villain. I just
I'm
Marvel is
curious
known
about
for
like.
just being for just changing their characters a bit for the
Mhm.
MCU to make even some villains more heroic. And I don't mind that really if it works. And
Yeah.
I honestly let Tim Roth be a little more heroic. Come on,
I think like with
let him
Tim
have fun
Roth's
with it.
character, I think that he can be like he can kind of work as in between hero and villain,
Yeah, maybe,
like as sort of almost an anti-hero or sort of thing. Like I think
probably.
he was kind of lying a bit in the show,
Yeah,
but like like he it's pretty clear even before he had any of the serum and stuff like that that he was a little bit of an unhinged person.
yeah.
And
The serum kind of amplified that a bit.
it wasn't that they just forced this serum on him and he went crazy because of it. He was already
He
a
was
bit
already ambitious and hell bent on really
yeah.
wanting to be the best fighter and everything.
So he was clearly already literally lying a bit. So I feel like he kind of would work or best as being a little bit of an anti-hero sort of in the
Maybe.
future, or not just a full hero.
I
Yeah,
mean, well, at least as long as he's doing some good with it, good,
if
you know, even just not
I feel
now.
like
I feel like
if
that would be nice.
so we have not and like it honestly really surprised me that this is not like part of the first round of chairs announcements for Doomsday, but like, we didn't see anything about Wong or Doctor Strange being
Yeah.
in like
I
I
mean,
would have
I have
thought that
heard that
they would
Strange is going
be
to be playing a big role in the Secret Wars movie,
yeah,
but
like
we'll
I would
see.
have thought that they would be like slam dunks. They're gonna be in it. And versus now, I'm like, I don't know. No. But like, I feel
Yeah.
like if they are, then there's a chance we could see the Abomination at Comertage, Oz in that,
Yeah,
and
possibly.
maybe he helps the heroes at some point during the film.
Possibly, yeah,
And
we'll see.
Though I feel like if She-Hulk does end up being on the team in that film, then the moment she sees Abomination, she's gonna be like, "Did you have to break out of prison again?"
I hope. Yeah, I know. But like, and I'm like, I mean,
uh,
yeah,
Speaking of that, just earlier today, from when we were recording this, it's like one of the more trustful scoopers is out there said has said that Tatiana Maslany will be coming back for or
I hope so.
Doomsday, which is a and like we've and some other scoopsters have been saying that
Yeah,
that later this month we should be getting in the rest of the cast announcements. So it'll be interesting to see
yeah,
whether we find out by the end of the month
yeah.
if Tatiana Maslany is like officially going to be coming back.
I hope
I'm
so.
like
I really do.
I do too. I think so. If they actually are planning on the rest of the announcements being this month, on I say announce She-Hulk's return early before the rest of them. Have her announce her return on Monday, which is which from the day we're recording this, the upcoming Monday is the actual 3 year anniversary of the She-Hulk show. Announce
Mhm.
her return on the anniversary. I think that would be a really good thing to do. And then
I
you could
agree.
at the end of that announcement, you can be they can say more chairs announcements coming soon, or coming very soon, and to tease people that yes, we're getting more soon, and then though I think some of the scoops say that we're gonna be getting another chairs live stream. Like
Yeah,
it's
I've been hearing
weird.
that too, and I'm just like,
So to me, the
eh,
what makes it feel weird is like they said like either the 27th or the 28th is when they're thinking that it's gonna happen, but like if they're planning on doing it that late this month, that's only a couple of days before or Marvel has a panel at D23. Why don't you just
yeah,
do it at D23 then?
may as well.
I feel like it's much more likely we're gonna get it at D23 than a random day a couple of days before.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. I mean, I'm just
I, I'm
honestly,
I'm
I'm just trying to be in for the long haul as
oh
much as
yeah,
I can. So,
I'm cautiously optimistic about
mm,
Tatiana Maslany appearing in it.
yeah,
It like I do have like worry that she might not on both because the state that Marvel's is in currently with how they kind of seem like they're cutting back on the female characters and also because Tatiana Maslany is just very busy lately. She has
yeah,
a lot of
she's a
upcoming
busy bee.
films.
She's a busy bee, but
So
hopefully
I
they'll
don't know
get her
whether
back.
she'll actually have time to film Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah. And failing that, she can just show up in Secret Wars, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly.
Fit her in
Well,
there somewhere.
definitely interested. Trying to think. What else about She-Hulk show do I want to bring up? Um, let's see. Oh, we haven't talked at all about Titania. She's
Oh, yeah.
great. She is great in it.
Titania, I never really knew much about Titania as a character, to be honest, but I thought she was all right. I mean,
I
I feel
didn't
like she
either,
was
but I
kind of meant to
enjoyed her in
be
the
like a
show.
bit of a social commentary on like vapid people like the Kardashians and stuff like that, except with
She,
superpowers.
I don't know a lot about her either in the comics, but I enjoyed her in the show, and
Mhm.
she's also she's in the most recent She-Hulk runs, at least I believe it's the most recent one,
Well, that's
and
good.
where she and in that She-Hulk and her start a fight club to get their aggression out, which I really enjoy that.
I mean, if it works for them, more power to them, you know?
Like at the start of the run on like Titania came to fight her and She-Hulk stopped her mid fight. It was like, you want to make this like a regular thing that we do because it's pretty clear we both like doing this to get our aggression out. So they started Fight Club, and and other characters started joining him for it, like the Thing started joining in for the Fight Club as well.
Of course,
And
he's going to join.
some other people as well. It's like I thought that was really fun. Which speaking of changing the thing, like I really hope that in the future we get to see the new Thing and She-Hulk interact because like
I'd
they're
love to
so
see
good.
the new Thing and just Hulk interact too,
Oh
because
yeah,
that'd be cool too.
absolutely.
Because I know Hulk and the Thing and Ben Grimm had this
Oh
back and
yeah,
forth in the
they
comics
have a
quite a
lot of
bit.
rival.
So
The Thing and Hulk have a lot of rivalry in the comics.
yeah,
But the Thing and She-Hulk are really good friends in the comics, and I want to
Mm.
see that.
I'd like
And
to see that a bit too. Yeah,
there was also a time in the comics where the She-Hulk literally was a member of the Fantastic Four
I
as well.
remember hearing about that. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I still need to see First Steps. I've heard it's really good.
Oh
So
yeah. It's definitely really good.
yeah, and just has a lot of great talent in it. So
Mhm. Uh, I, what episode? Which episode of the She-Hulk show would you say is your favorite?
oh man, tough call. You know what? I'd probably have to say the one where Daredevil shows up.
No, yeah. For me, I gotta go with
The one where they fight Leapfrog. Yeah, I'd have to say that one.
for me, I gotta go with the first episode because
I
we
mean, the first
get the
episode kind of comes in a close second, but yeah,
because of the odds of seeing Hulk and She-Hulk together,
yeah,
that is one of my favorite things the MCU has ever done on is that first episode because I just love their dynamics so much.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's
much
great
fun
stuff.
to watch. It's really an episode where when you watch it, you the whole episode you really cannot take the smile off your face. It's just a
Mhm.
joyful episode to watch.
And also getting to see Banner being more of a prankster, and everything, which is
Yeah,
nice because if you remember the Incredible Hulk movie, he couldn't, but he was worried about expressing even the strong emotions because that might make him Hulk out. And now that both the Hulk and Banner have essentially merged into one
yeah,
entity, as it were, they've done the work, uh,
yeah.
albeit off screen mostly, but still,
Hmm.
the he can kind of have a little fun a bit, especially with the whole air horn. Like,
We get that
was
episode.
the air horn really necessary?
Yeah.
Comedy, absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's so good. That episode. It made people go absolutely insane because of the one line where people decided she's minimizing Hulk's trauma. I'm like, that's not what the point of the scene was
No,
us at
I don't
all.
think she was minimizing. I mean, I feel like that maybe she could have made like I, I mean,
So
I feel like the writers could have probably worded it better. But I don't think she was
possibly, but
minimizing Hulk's trauma so much, the trauma of the Hulk so much as that, that, from what I understand in the comics, the Hulk is the way the Hulk is because he's basically an alter of Banner's that basically manifested itself physically because of
Mhm.
the gamma rays and all that stuff.
Well, it's
But and who knows if that's the case here in the MCU,
so
where because
with
of like that abusive childhood that Bruce had.
so I
But
think
I don't know.
I think with that scene, I mean, it's very obvious to me that one the point of the scene was not to minimize his trauma. It was to call out a real thing the women deal with it's every day. That it's awful. And then
Yeah,
but to me, even if it does minimize his trauma a bit, I think that I still think it's a good scene because real families when they get angry at each other, they sometimes lash out and say hurtful things.
yep,
But then
yep,
and then sometimes they even physically fight.
yeah.
But they still make up and hug afterwards,
Well,
and
the good
still are
families
happy
do,
with them.
certainly, yes.
happy with each other afterwards, and that's
Yeah.
and I think it shows incredibly it did an incredible job at showing how real families are and
Yeah.
so I think it was actually a really good scene
Yeah.
and people
It,
just as disliked it because they wanted a reason to be able to hate on her being a woman.
well, they were digging for all kinds of reasons they
Yeah.
could, whether it's dialogue or just the
Uh,
fact that she's been one-upping the Hulk and stuff like that. Well, and being a little more in control. And it seems like she took her less effort and everything to become more in
you
control of her
know,
Hulk form
with
than Banner did. But Banner
I
struggled
think
with it
this
because, like I said, the Hulk is basically an alter of his that
yeah they
manifested via the gamma ray
so
because of the gamma rays.
yeah so I think that that first episode like actually kind of does the opposite of what people think and I think it doesn't diminish his trauma. I think it actually is a very much showed us yes he has trauma. Jen literally said to him, "You have a decade's worth of trauma." That is the first time the MCU has even ever mentioned his trauma. And
Yeah.
people think that that's the that she's trying to diminish it. And then and also like you talk about the out his out the
Or
fact that he
well,
has
I think it's
DID.
like the first time they really explicitly mention its trauma to
Yes,
some
that's it.
extent
That's
because
yeah, that's
and
what I
how
was saying.
troubled Banner can be
Like
because like I mean because if you remember in the Avengers they kind of he mentions that moment where he nearly killed himself but the Hulk spat out the bullet,
with the
which
with
was a
like
reference to a
the
deleted opening for the Incredible Hulk,
yeah
but still.
with the with the DID thing and he
Yeah.
with his dad. I think this episode also makes it clear that yes, he absolutely had that just like they did in the first Avengers film. Dealing with this other guy, I for 15 years. That's very clear. That's very clear.
Hmm.
They're talking about how the Hulk is a different person than him.
Yep.
And I think though like people don't really understand and what Smart Hulk is. I don't think it's actually a merge of Banner and Hulk. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure it is just as Banner taking over Hulk's body and locking Hulk down deep inside him.
I still think it's a merge to some extent because there's some stuff that he does in that Smart
Oh
Hulk
yeah,
form
he.
that I feel like Banner wouldn't do, like knocking
I
Jen
think
off a
that
cliff, for instance.
I think there's moments where the real Hulk pulls himself up a little bit and he comes out, but like
Yeah.
for the most of the time, this is just Banner. It is not Hulk. And I think Banner has made people believe that it's a urge, but it's not actually.
Well,
Because
I mean
he's
it's not probably a cohesive merge, but it still feels like there's a merging between some of aspects of Banner and some aspects of Hulk,
Mhm.
at least to
Yeah,
me.
I
But
think that
that's how I'm
and
seeing
then
it, literally. But it's possible that the
there's
writers
so
have
many
really, I feel like they
there
really haven't fully elaborated on it.
there's
So,
so many Hulk fans who are insistent that in the MCU who Hulk does not have his abusive childhood. I'm like, there's no reason to believe that he doesn't. Doesn't they?
exactly. I mean, just because they haven't mentioned it in the movies doesn't mean
Yeah,
that it
like
didn't happen in the movies.
the fact that they explicitly mention in this he has a decade's worth of trauma, uh, uh tells me yes, he absolutely
He
had that,
probably did have that
and the
abusive childhood. Yeah.
and I think that and people try to use it as evidence that he doesn't. They're like they say like, oh, he has oh, there was a deleted scene from Thor Ragnarok where he mentioned having a good relationship with his father. It was deleted and it's never been mentioned again. So obviously that's not canon. And they also mention how there is an Aunt Rebecca in this show. And they're like, oh, that must be Bruce's mom because as in the comics, Bruce's mom is named Rebecca. And I'm like, no, that's pretty clearly not his mom. That's just a random member of their family. Because as if it were or his mom, one when he comes back with Scar, she would have had a reaction to it if that were his her son and her grandson meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
And also, if also the actress playing her is only 12 years older than Mark Ruffalo. Are you trying to say that that Rebecca had Bruce at 12 years old? Like that's crazy to say.
I don't know. I mean, the timeline's all fudgy and weird anyway in
Uh,
the MCU, but yeah.
to me, what I want to see with Hulk going forward is, or um, I want to see, I want them to make the fact that he has a son be a very important thing for his progress with his trauma because I want that um he has a thing of like he doesn't want to turn out like his abusive father and
Yep.
I think I sadly don't think this is where they're going to be going because only because of him being in Spider-Man Brand New Day but I think but what I would have wanted is having and he goes to therapy because he doesn't want to be the bad father that his father was.
Hmm.
And I what I would want is that doing the therapy sessions is too much for him, and that's what brings a Savage Hulk back out. I think that that would be a really cool way to deal with it, and I think it's also just really cool to get to see superheroes in therapy.
Hmm.
Mhm. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see a solo Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo, but sadly, Universal owns the
yeah,
rights for that
sadly.
right now, which is kind of why I think Marvel was able to do the She-Hulk show because they were able to kind of skirt around that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because apparently Universal doesn't own the rights to She-Hulk, which is
So
also why they
I
were
think
able to
it's
kind of
more
skirt
of
in and
like
have Tim Roth come back as Abomination. So,
I think it's may partially be that and partially be that they may not own the Hulk TV rights, so that could be a part of it as well, and that
yeah.
makes it easier for them to be able to have that at though if it is that Disney does own the TV rights, I beg Disney to put the different Hulk shows from over the years, there's both animated and the 70s live action one on
On
Disney
Disney Plus.
Plus.
Yeah.
Like we have some of
I'm
that, we
planning.
have some of the
I'm
animated
looking into
ones.
getting the Blu-ray of the old Hulk TV, Bill Bixby, Lou
Yeah,
Ferrigno Hulk
I
show
like
someday because
I so
it still holds up for me.
like we have some of them and but like there's like we don't have the 80s these animated Hulk show and we also don't have the 60s animated Hulk show on there
Yeah,
and we obviously don't have the 70s live action one on like I want to see all of those get put on Disney Plus
yeah.
us and like
Especially since they
and
homaged the '70s Hulk show on the very
yeah.
last episode.
Yeah, I actually a like a little while ago. Oh, I actually ended up buying myself of a box set that has the 2003 film, the 2008 film, and the entire 70s Ace Hawk TV show on it. And I was so happy to be able to get that and for a decent price. I was able to get it for like $30, something like that, which I think is a really good deal for having an entire 5 season show or something like that on
Hmm.
it. Yeah, which it's honestly weird to me that just getting the TV show alone is much more expensive, but if you get it as part of this box set that also has the 2003 film and the 2008 film, it's cheaper.
I mean, I already have the Blu-ray of the 2008 film, and I have the DVD of the 2003 film. So I just want like the
Yeah,
Blu-ray of like the complete
mhm.
show. Really,
Yeah,
that's all I
absolutely
really need.
understandable. And
Yeah.
I want to at some point be able to get the three TV movies that followed the
I
70s
think the
show.
Blu-ray box
But
set I
those
saw
the
for sale once actually had all those movies
I'm
included into the whole complete series thing, but
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that most of the things that they've done, like either don't have them or they only have two of them, and then the third one, if I remember right, has not had a physical release, which is
Oh,
weird.
okay. That is kind of weird, actually.
Yeah, it's like from what I've heard, it's like really hard to find to be able to watch it. Yeah. I don't think there's really much else to say about the She-Hulk show. But the She-Hulk show is I know this is like a bunch of hot take, but like it is my favorite thing that or at least within and like outside of comics that Marvel has ever done. And I love this show so much. And I'll keep championing it. And I'm gonna keep trying to get I to make Marvel know that the fans want a season two, and I'm gonna keep trying to get them to bring her back, act for or anything. But yeah.
Hmm.
Um, are there any final words you'd like to say before I end this off?
Uh, I just I just want more Hulk stuff in the MCU someday. That'd be
Absolutely.
great. That's all.
What do you think of like everything we've heard about Hulk being in Spider-Man Brand New Day?
I mean, if they could find a way to fit him into the narrative and it makes
Well,
sense for the story they're telling, then I
I'm
say I'm glad. I'm glad Ruffalo's
oh
still
yeah,
working. You
I'm
know, I
I'm
mean, I've seen him in other stuff,
very
not just
excited
MCU
for it.
stuff, so I know he's a talent. But still,
Yeah, I am very excited for it because one of my favorite duos O's in all of Marvel is Spider-Man and Hulk together. I think they
yeah.
have such a fun
The
dynamic.
one thing I heard about the new Spider-Man though that floored me is the fact that they actually have John Bernthal coming back as
Mhm.
Punisher. I'm
Like,
like wondering how that's going to work, especially
yeah,
considering that
that's gonna be
everything
weird.
we've seen with Punisher in the MCU at this point is very R-rated. It's got that strong R-rated flavor. So
My
how are they going to how is they going to kind of
yeah,
make him into the
I
have him work in the
I'm
PG-13 world?
excited, but I'm worried. Worried
I,
like
I'm
there's
ca- I mean, I know you said you're cautiously optimistic. The way I word it is I'm cautiously hopeful.
yeah, like I'm my so I have worries about one
Yeah,
because like they said that we're gonna have a fight between in Spider-Man, Hulk and Punisher. I'm like,
I hope not. I hope not. Well,
why
maybe
would Hulk and Spider-Man be fighting at this point in the MCU? Like that just
I don't know
weird.
either. I don't. I mean,
Like
unless it's a side effect of like the
it's not.
memory erase spell from No Way
I
Home.
don't
I
know.
don't
It's
know.
weird. That's weird. I'm like, I don't want them to treat Hulk like a villain and at all.
Me
All
neither.
like
I mean, I can
and
understand maybe having Hulk being treated as a
with
villain, maybe sometime down the road if they wanted to like explore the Savage Hulk storylines a bit,
yeah, but
maybe,
the thing
but
that to
not right
me
now.
is like, if you're like, if you want to do anything villainous with Hulk, make it be in a Hulk film. It's really
Exactly.
weird to make that be in a Spider-Man film.
Exactly.
Like
Although I
that's
did
not
hear
trying to
like when
explore
they were
somewhere
still
else.
planning out working on phase one of the MCU, one of the original drafts for the original Avengers film was going to be having all the Avengers come together to capture the Hulk, but but I don't know how that, but I guess they
But
kind
yeah,
of,
like
but eventually
and
spiraled off into Avengers versus Loki, which I
mhm.
think makes more sense. But
With Punisher though, my worry is not so much that they're not gonna be able to do him in a PG-13 rating because like
yeah,
I think any character can be done whether it's R-rated or PG-13 or even PG. I think any character can be done. My thing with Punisher in this is like, what is he gonna do in this fight between Spider-Man and Hulk and him? He's not
he'd
gonna
probably
be
just be
able to
turned
do.
into a puddle of goo if he got
He's
punched by the
not
Hulk.
getting. He's not
He's
gonna
just a guy with a
be able
gun.
to hurt Hulk with his gun. Like,
He's just
what
gonna
are
turn into
you
he's gonna get
doing?
turned into hamburger.
Like, you're like, what?
I don't know.
How are you going to make it make sense
I don't
that
know. But but
he tries to
regardless,
fight Hulk?
I'm looking forward to seeing how Banner and
Mhm.
and Punisher fit into this narrative.
Yeah, I'm
And
really
I hope,
interested.
did you get a look at the new Spidey suit, by the
Oh
way?
yeah,
I think it looks great. Very
I
bright, very
I was
colorful. I'm there for it.
yeah I think it's time where like the first time we saw it, I wasn't big on it, but then but when we started actually seeing in the videos coming out from set as he's
Yeah,
from I really liked it then. And like when it was in action, I could I
and seeing
really
him in
liked
it
it.
and everything. Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how this new Spider-Man plays out because
yeah,
No
absolutely.
Way Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I'm
Uh,
very like I'm one of the big things I'm very excited for with it is that Dustin Daniel Cretton is
yeah, me
directing
too.
because
Because
I
Shang-Chi
love
is my favorite thing
Shang-Chi.
from Phase 4. So
He like I'm very interested in what he's gonna do with fight scenes in this.
well,
This
if
like
Shang-Chi's any indication, it's probably going to be something very awesome.
well
So
yeah like I'm particularly like really interested in like with Spider-Man and the fight choreography. You can do a lot of stuff like you might I have done with the Shang-Chi film, but like
exactly.
how are you going to do how is he going to do Hulk? That's going to be really interesting to me
I'm
because I
curious
feel
about
like
that as
that would
well.
be because I think that how you form a Hulk fight scene is much different from how you would form
Oh,
any other
absolutely.
character or fight scene because he's a fully CGI character. And like, I'm very interested in seeing how Dustin Daniel Cretton and handles that.
Yeah, we'll see how I mean we'll see how it all fits together
Oh yeah,
story-wise,
I'm very
and it's meant to
excited.
come out before Avengers Doomsday. So
Oh yeah, and hopefully that means that it's going to lead right into that film, and
mhm. Yeah,
maybe when we see a Spider-Man Hulk return in that, if they do then they will be TV up again in that hopefully.
yeah.
Like
In fact, I'm actually looking forward to seeing Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm interact.
oh
Because
yeah.
from what I'm seeing in the trailers, Joseph Quinn
Have
nailed Johnny really
uh,
well. So
have
I'm
you seen that there was some concept art from Endgame aim where they were thinking of doing a scene where Spider-Man throws or no, sorry, Hulk throws Spider-Man, and then Giant Man is throwing Hulk. And I think that would have been really cool to see.
well, maybe they can repurpose it. You
Yeah,
know,
hopefully.
that'd be cool. One thing I wish
Like that would be
that didn't
cool.
make the cut for the Infinity Saga that I think I would love to see them I wish they could find a way to repurpose in a multiversal way for Doomsday slash Secret Wars is apparently there was this bit involving Stark giving Doctor Strange his armor.
Oh yeah, that would be
Tony Stark
cool.
give it his Iron Man suit. Now, and apparently they did shoot some of it, so they did have
Oh yeah, they
Cumberbatch in
did.
the armor for a little bit,
Yeah, they
and
had
I'm like,
him in
I
the
want to
armor
see
and
that.
they had Robert Downey
Yeah,
Jr. wearing the cape,
the
and
cloak
like
of levitation. Yeah, yeah.
and they did, but they never released at least that deleted scene, and
No,
that's
and I'm very
wild.
despondent about that. They didn't even include it. They didn't even include it in the big Infinity Saga box set thing,
Yeah.
which I have, by the way. But still,
Mhm.
um,
Well, no, that's really everything I think we have to
yeah,
discuss
I
here.
think
So,
we're kind of going a little off the rails ourselves there.
everyone, please check out Kevin the Time Geek
Yeah, check out my
86
gaming stuff.
on Twitter
Shameless
and on
plug.
YouTube.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this game analysis, please go 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the She-Hulk show, so please let me know. And if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more game analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Master Jerry John, signing off.